What's up, guys? So, I'm taking a shit, and I've seen that people are very upset, clearly, about my shower video talking about Alan Thrall. And, hold on a second, I just got it. People are upset about it, and clearly didn't understand the video. Probably most of them didn't actually watch any of it, because they got a little butthurt. But, sorry, I'm a little drunk. I was, fuck you. I know it's like 6 o'clock on a Sunday, but this is Wisconsin, so fuck you, don't judge me. People are upset that I didn't use any well thought out arguments while I was in the shower showering. People were very upset about that. Didn't give out specific details as to why I dislike Alan Thrall. But, so I thought I'd make a little video, because now apparently I've been informed that on his Instagram he posted a photo of it. I didn't see it actually, but that's what someone said. So there's been a big flood of DYELers on my channel. So here I am. I'm on the toilet. I've got some cue cards because you guys apparently need perfectly well thought out arguments when men are in the shower. So these are in no particular order, but this is why I dislike Alan Thrall and starting strength as well. Let's see, I'm going to start with the back here. So, a big thing with starting strength, there's a severe lack of frequency. Pretty much even when you account for a controlled volume and intensity, high frequency is pretty much better for everything from muscular development to strength development. And the frequency in starting strength is just god-awful. It's part of it, you don't build a good skill component doing one set of 5 deadlifts at like a moderate weight. You're never going to build the skill needed to deadlift anything heavy ever. That's what it is. And people have made these arguments 1,000 times. If you go on fucking Reddit, you can find more detailed, more thought out conversations about this. I don't want to spend all my fucking time. I have a real job, people. I have a social life, and I don't want to spend all day saying why starting strength is shitty. But that's a big part of it. Keyword number 1. There is a crazy lack of volume. Again, one set of 5 deadlifts, that should be enough set. So we deadlift like 3 times in 2 weeks with one set of 5. That's, what the fuck is that? People are like, oh, your CNS will be fatigued by deadlifts too much. That's not a thing for beginners. Weak-ass fucking beginners. And I'm referring to beginners who are just off the couch, because that's a typical person running starting strength who has little to no athletic background. Obviously, there's different types of beginners. There's the beginners where you've maybe played football your entire life, and then you hop on starting strength, and wow, I got strong. It's because you already had a good base. What brings my next point is... Oh, back to that, sorry. CNS fatigue, if you're starting out, you're probably too weak and don't have good enough skills, and you're not lifting all that heavy, and CNS fatigue is not going to be a thing. It's not a thing for anyone, really, but especially not for beginners. But back to my point, it doesn't do a good job of building a base, which is what beginners actually need. Focusing on pushing ever higher numbers is a terrible thing to teach beginners. It's awful. It's a peaking program, essentially, and it's peaking nothing. There's nothing to peak for beginners, right? Again, these are off-the-couch beginners I'm talking about. You really need to be working in varying rep ranges. You need to be adding a bunch of accessory movements. You need to learn how to move properly. Focusing on 3 movements it's just fucking dumb. Or if you throw in like power cleans, which the way they're taught in starting strength is just, it's not a jump and a shrug. That is not a clean, a power clean. Dear Lord, Mark Ripito, what's wrong with you? But yeah, it basically sacrifices base building for simplicity, because some people have this idea where beginners are fucking idiots and they can't figure out what AMRAP means, and they can't figure out how to do basic math. Like, if you can't figure those things out, you have bigger problems than being weak. You need to work on some brain muscles, right? It's awful. It really handles deloads improperly. It's just what happens. People stall and they back up, and they go up maybe a little bit more than where they stalled, and they back up, and they go maybe a little bit again. and they stall and they spin their wheels forever. It's just a dumb way to handle deloads. If you look at even Grayskull, which is almost the exact same program as starting strength, just putting in an AMRAP set fixes a lot of the problems with starting strength. But Mark Ripito and Alan Thrall, they're a my way or the highway kind of guys, and this is the one way to do things. And they stand by their product, which I guess is good, but it's a shitty product. So, back to focusing on adding weight. It's a bad habit to teach beginners that the only way to show progress is to push weight on the bar. Hold on. Courtesy flush. What was I saying? Yeah, it's a bad habit to teach beginners that the only way to progress is to add weight in the bar. There are multiple ways to progress. You could, for example, increase your total volume. Maybe one week you do 5 sets of 3, and the next week you do 6 sets of 3 the same weight. You just improved. You added volume to your workout. Though improve better movement patterns. You went from benching, let's say 225, super grindy, and then you progress and you bench it very, very cleanly. Another way to show progress. There are endless ways to show progress besides adding weight to the bar, but a lot of people who just run starting strength, it basically teaches them that's the only way to show progress. And whether that's their intention or not, that's what happens, and that's their problem, not the people running it. But yeah, I see so many people, and they reach these halfway decent numbers, or squatting 315 or whatever at running starting strength, and they've stalled there endlessly, and they don't know what to do because they think they can't progress unless they're adding weight to the bar, and spinning wheels for fucking ever. But where was I got these cue cards. Beginners need accessory work, and they need a lot of it, and they need to learn how to move in different patterns, focus on single leg work. Most beginners have incredible imbalances, incredible weaknesses in certain areas of their body, whether that be from sitting all day long or, I don't know, whatever the fuck they're doing. They need weaknesses that need to be addressed, and they should be addressed with, at least partially, with accessory work. You can't just grind away squats, bench, and deadlifts and hope everything corrects itself, because it won't. It never will. There's an article, I know some people are like, oh, you can add exercises and volume. There's an article with Mark Ripito saying, basically describing exercises you can add, and then says, don't add them. It's fucking worthless. What the fuck is that? Beginners, to build a base, which is again very, very important, beginners need accessory work. You should be jumping. You should be doing single leg work, single arm work. You're doing a shit ton of pulling. You're doing a lot of row variations. Everyone's got a weak ass fucking upper back and a weak ass lower back. And one set of 5 deadlifts isn't going to correct that. Anyway, like I said, I'm not going to go on these topics for fucking ever, because you can Google this shit, but no, that's the cue cards for something else. So another thing I talk about Alan Thrall specifically is that him and Feigenbaum and Mark Ripito are basically, they have the smear campaign against 531, because it's probably the biggest competitor, I guess, Jim Wendler, that is. And they both made videos comparing, or Alan Thrall made a video, Feigenbaum made an article on the Starting Strength website, of course, describing why 531's a piece of shit, basically, in their opinion. And it was just so disingenuous, and it was so obviously part of a smear campaign by Mark Ripito and those subordinates of his. And they specifically compared it to a 531 variation called, I'm mispronounced this, triumvirate, whatever the fuck it is, I don't know. American mispronounce shit. And that specific variation uses a lot of exercises like dips. It uses dumbbell, bench presses and leg press, etc. as accessories and even main movements. And what they basically did, comparing to that, they hand waved away the volume that those contribute to the program, because they, in their mind, they're less effective than the big 5, being squat, bench, dead, row, power clean. They're shitty fucking power clean cues, my god. People. It's not a jump and a shrug. Anyway. But yeah, so they basically used this thing, and that was from, I believe, 2009. Jim Wendler talked about the triumvirate, whatever the fuck it's called, variation. And they just ignore the last 9 years of what Jim Wendler's put out. I'm not like some 5-3-1 apologist. I don't think it's the most amazing program. I recommend it to a lot of people who are starting out, but it's not this like end all be all program. I don't by any means, but I keep saying program. It's not a program. It's a template really. It can be modified to one's needs very easily and effectively. So when they're talking about, some people are like, the frequency is not enough or the intensity is not enough. It can be, if you make it that way. It can be anything you want it to be 5-3-1 really. But it just goes to show people listen to like Alan Thrall and Mark Ripito and Feigenbaum, Dr. Feigenbaum, and believe what they're telling them because they're smearing the program. And again, I don't think 5-3-1 is perfect. I think it's a good program, but it's whatever. If they're more honest about volume with comparing it to starting strength, more like a similar variation of 5-3-1, I guess you could say, they probably would have compared it to Boring But Big, which uses the big five as the main movements and has more closer volume and whatnot. But again, it's a smear campaign because they want to promote starting strength, which is whatever. It's a business. I get it, but it's shitty. It's really fucking shitty. Yeah, and people were also upset that I said Alan Thrall did nothing of note in his entire life, and I was clearly referring to training-wise. I know he was in the military, which I greatly respect. I think that he made that sacrifice is amazing. It's some sacrifice I didn't make. That's great that he did that, and I appreciate that sacrifice he made. But that doesn't give him authority to teach people how to lift. It doesn't. Again, of note, training-wise, he's done nothing. Or coached anyone of note, never done anything of note himself. His numbers are subpar, especially when you take into account he literally trains for a living. It's not like his hobby, it's what he does for a living, which makes it all the more bad. But yeah, you guys get so upset. It was not a serious video. Obviously, what I said was all true in that video, every single bit of it, but I was taking a fucking shower on the way to work, and now I'm taking a shit, so it shows how much I care. I don't know. I'm done with this. This is enough for this YouTube drama shit. I hate it so much. Ugh. Hold on, currency float. That sprinkles me. But yeah, guys, don't take training so seriously. Don't take people who talk about programs so seriously, including myself. Don't try to find people. If you're gonna emulate someone in the training world, try to find people who are successful themselves, or at least made people successful. That's it. I think I'm out of cue cards. Let me check. You guys want a well thought out shit? Can't handle shower videos apparently. I don't know. Whatever. Starting strength, not a good program. Yeah, someone was here we go. Someone was upset because someone asked what program they recommend for them, and I didn't give any details about themselves, and they're upset that my response to that person was, you really need to find something that works for yourself. And they're upset because how can you in the same breath talk about how starting strength is shitty, but then say it's just mostly effort? Because it is mostly effort, and you can certainly progress on starting strength. I'm not saying you won't progress at all, but it's a bad program still, and there are better alternatives that are just as simple. I don't know why simplicity is this like key thing that beginners need, but just as simple. And again, I knew nothing about this guy. If I recommended a program to somebody I know nothing about, that'd be disingenuous of me. But yeah, fucking try shit. I don't know. I've made this video enough, so. And I'm out of toilet paper.